freedom isn't free. No, there's a hefty fucking fee.
Hey folks, freedom isn't free here, and we got a video today that's just madness. It's coming to us out of Illinois. It's coming to us from a channel called Audits. Go by and subscribe to this young man if you haven't already. He's got less than 1,000 subs, and just the reaction that we see at the beginning of this video from unemployees is just incredible. Just off the wall, off the charts, just dangerous. These people are dangerous. Check out the video. Leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you think of the interaction, and definitely check us out again. We got some more stuff coming your way.
So we're out here, the Illinois Department of Human Services. Here in Centralia, Illinois. Alright. We're just gonna see if our right to record in public is respected. And we're gonna file us a FOIA request. And we'll go from there. See what we got. I think we might be getting a little bit of rain, to be honest with you. Might not be good for the camera, guys. Might not be good. So that's the back. We'll come out here real quick. We'll get yeah, I'm sure this will be a good one, guys. Of course, they got all their windows, you know, all the blinds open. Kind of looking at me crazy as soon as I walk past, you know. So we'll come on in here. Let's see what we got. Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Oh.
Hi. What's the deal with the camera?
Oh, I'm just recording.
That's not legal.
Says who?
The government, I should say.
Says the government?
Yes. It's a HIPAA violation. There's confidentiality laws.
A HIPAA violation?
Yes.
But I'm just out in the public, so...
No, I'm fine with... I don't personally care.
Mm-hmm.
It's not me. We've just been down this road before with other people that wanted to record, and it's not legal due to confidentiality.
Not
laws.
legal from what standpoint?
Confidentiality.
Like, right, but where am I not allowed to be while I
can't definitively give you the answer. I don't definitively know. I just know you can't be here.
Sure.
Now, maybe is the line the sidewalk? Is the line the street? I don't know.
Right.
Because it's somewhere.
This is a public building, though, so
it's still a government building.
Right, but government means public. Now, I understand restricted access, right?
Sure.
But public lobbies would be public.
Okay, but there are confidentiality laws that prevent you from being able to.
Right.
You can't be recording people.
Based on what, though?
Confidentiality. Do you not know what that word means?
Just de-escalate a little bit, all right? I'm not here to cause a problem. I'm not.
Well,
I'm not taking an aggressive tone. No, I'm questioning where this is coming from.
What is it for?
Well, I don't know that I want to give that now. I don't like your attitude, to be honest, sir.
You don't want to have information, or you don't want to give information.
Well,
but you want to take information.
I'm here to do two things, sir.
Okay.
First of all, I'm going to ask you again to please de-escalate, right? Because
I'm not mad.
Well, you're escalating your tone with me.
I'm not escalating anything.
Okay.
I've just had, it's frustrating to repeat yourself over and over and over.
I'm looking for clarity, right? Because on why I'm not allowed to do this. You're the one.
Confidentiality, man.
But I'm in
have
public.
a right to know what. Okay.
Is this a public facility?
Of course it is.
Right. So I'm here to do two. I'm here to do two things, sir.
Not all government, or not all public. Let me rephrase. Not all government buildings are free information to the public. That's not how it works. You can't go up on a military
There is some
base.
information that's going to be free to the public here.
Sure,
though.
some, yes.
And I'm here to file a request for that information.
You got to send that to the governor's office. We can't do that here. We don't have the authority.
With all due respect, sir, I am perfectly legal to do this here.
You can do it, but all we're going to do is send it to, we're not going to grant it.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
I should say it that way.
Yeah, you're going to forward it for me,
Yes.
and that's all I'm looking to
that's
do.
not something
I'm
we can
on
do.
foot. I'm here at Centralia. I'm not
That's
at the
got to be
government.
off before you go in here.
I can't do that. This is public.
We'll get the cops then.
No, well, respectfully, I'm not going to call the cops. I'm not doing
No,
anything
if
illegal.
we call the cops with you having that on in there, they're going to take you to jail. I've seen it happen more than once, actually.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to encourage you nor discourage you to call the police. I think that'll be unnecessary.
Are you coming in?
Yeah, if I'm gonna not be restricted from coming in. Yeah, no, and I appreciate
You want
that,
to break the
sir.
law? Be my guest.
If you believe that I'm breaking the law, then you're gonna do what you need to do.
No.
Okay. Like I said, a little bit of de-escalation would be great. I'm not here to cause a problem. I didn't escalate with you.
No, see, here's the thing. I told you what you're allowed to do and what you can't.
Right.
And you're doing what you can't anyway.
You just held the door open for me.
Because I'm not going to slam it in your face. I'm not
Okay,
a jerk.
and I appreciate. Well, you did come outside being a little bit of a jerk.
Because you're walking around the parking lot taking video of people's cars.
In
and
the
license
public
plates.
parking lot. I was in
It's a
public. I'm
government
still in
run
public.
parking lot. Public
Okay.
and government are not the same word.
You could be breaking confidentiality. You either need to leave or we call the police.
I can't break confidentiality though. That's not on me.
You can if you're recording people's cars and other people know who they are. What if it's your car and you don't want somebody to know that you're on aid and they see your car in the parking lot?
Do you guys not know any de-escalation at all? You guys are coming
I
out
don't
here
care
just.
about being-
You're at a level 10, and I mean, I feel like we could be.
We're just asking
the rights
you-
of my clients. That's all I care about.
Hey,
We're just
see, that's-
asking you to
do you see
leave.
the way he's acting?
We're just asking
He
you
met
to
me
leave.
outside with that same tone.
Susan, could you please call the police department?
I don't think that's necessary. I'm not looking to cause a problem.
But we're asking you to leave and you're not leaving. That's a problem.
He opened the door for me and allowed me to come inside, and we're having a dialogue right now. I
Okay.
mean, we're having a discussion. I mean, I'm more getting berated by both of you than anything.
I didn't berate you. I just said you needed to leave.
Both of you guys come out here very escalated. He met me outside, absolutely escalated, and you just met me right here, very escalated. I'm not here.
When you tell someone the same thing 14 times and they don't
We start
listen,
to get aggravated.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
frustrating.
Okay. Well,
You can tell it's
I.
I'll be there in a minute.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. This is a public lobby. I'm in public. HIPAA is not on me. I mean, do you agree or disagree? I mean, some people know their rights and some people don't.
I'm
Right?
not going to engage with you on your rights.
Okay.
You did see where it was posted, though.
No, I didn't get a chance to. He met me out
It's
here,
posted before you come
but
in. You should read
and he
before you
opened the
come
door
in.
for me. Did he not?
come out
I've
here.
got it on camera.
That's fine, yeah.
I've got it on camera. He opened the door for me and asked me if I'm going to come inside.
Then you recorded it's posted that there's no.
Okay, well, where criminal trespass to state-supported land? What does that have to do with videography or photography?
Well, you've got it on camera. You choose to do what you want with it, bud.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he opened the door and asked me if I was gonna come inside.
Find out that it is posted and you see
Right.
where it's posted that you can't video in here. So
Okay.
So this is restricted?
Yes, that's what the sign
This
says.
is not a public lobby.
The sign tells you everything
what
you
the
need to
sign
know.
said.
It
Okay.
breaks
Take it
confidentiality of the
take it
customers
what
that
you
are
want.
receiving benefits from us.
So if confidentiality was broken, would I get in trouble or would you guys get in
You,
trouble?
because you're the
I
one
would get in
recording
trouble.
and the sign says you can't.
But you guys are the holder of that information, right? You guys are the holders of the confidential information.
Tammy,
I'm-
you're not going to win this with him. You
No, I'm
missed
right,
it.
I'm not.
There's no reason
I-
to. I stand out here with him and took.
Okay, thank you.
I- hey.
I'm gonna call regional and let them know what's going on so that they'll be in contact.
Yeah, if I'm being asked to leave, I'm not gonna stay in where I'm not welcome.
Did you
right?
not hear him?
we've been discussing the whole time, right? We've been having a dialogue, and I will. But as long as I'm not having a dialogue with somebody, then I will be glad to leave. Now they're gone. You know, we're not talking anymore. I'm not going to stand. I'm going to wait outside. I'm not going to run from the police. I'm not doing anything wrong, right? But as long as somebody was talking to me, I'm not going to walk away from them. I mean, you guys need a little bit of de-escalation, to be honest. Now, you've been fine. I'm not going to say you. You've been polite. I appreciate that. But man, them guys come out at a level 10. He met me on the sidewalk, level 10, and she was right there, level 10. I didn't. I wasn't.
You need to leave now.
I am.
Thank you.
I am.
Thank you.
I'm going to wait right outside. If they're calling the cops, I'm going to wait outside. I'm not doing anything wrong, though. My goodness alive. Wow. That is insanity. Holy moly. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good, how are you?
Well, I've been better today.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I get your name and badge
sir.
number?
How we doing, buddy? They asked him to leave. And you can interpret the law better than I can, but we do have it posted right there. No video.
Okay.
Legal inside there because of HIPAA violations.
Absolutely.
He went ahead and came in anyway.
Well, I was invited in at the time,
Nobody
and
invited
as
him in.
I've got it on video, sir. Respectfully, I've got it on video. He held the door open for me and asked me if I was going to come inside.
Okay.
Do you mind if I get your name and badge number?
Officer Leslie, 463.
Leslie, it's nice to meet you. Thank
So
you.
that's where we're at. They asked him to
Do you mind if I get your name and badge number, sir?
Sergeant Bundy,
asked him to
Sergeant
go
Bundy?
inside because
All right, thank
of
you.
Violations.
Okay.
And then, like I said, I pointed out.
Now, now I'm asking you to be clear with them that as soon as everybody was done engaging in a dialogue with me, I came outside. I'm not going to walk away when somebody's talking to me.
Okay.
I've got it on video. The man met me outside at a level 10 because I was in a public parking lot recording. He met me right here at a level 10, and when I asked him to de-escalate, he didn't. And when he went inside, he turned around and said, "Are you going to come inside? Or are you coming inside?" And I said, so long as I'm not being prohibited from coming inside, I will. Now, once I came inside, the lady, I didn't get a chance to get her name because she was at a level 10 also.
Okay.
And they were laying into me. Now, as soon as they were done talking, I spoke with him for about 30 seconds. And as soon as he was done talking, I stepped outside.
Okay.
I believe that I have the right to be in there. That's a public lobby, okay? It's not restricted. Can we agree on that? That door's not locked. It's a public lobby,
Okay.
just as that's a public parking lot in a
You
public
just can't
facility.
record in there because of personal information that is inside
But-
the door.
Outside also because of license plates and customer vehicles.
You run plates all day long at your free will. Tell her that that is public information. That they're
difference. You're not just running any random.
and if they are the holders of confidential information, if something is to get out, that is, I am not the holder of confidential information.
Okay.
If they leak confidential information, that's on them, not me.
Okay.
Okay, they keep trying to put this HIPAA law on me, and it's not on me. I'm very, very well versed within my rights. I know what I'm doing. Now, if I'm being told to leave under threat of arrest, I'm not going to stay here, right?
You can stay here all you want, you just can't record.
This is a First Amendment protected activity. I would ask that you educate these guys.
We're given instructions from the state of Illinois. We're just
Okay.
going based off of what the state of Illinois has instructed us, that there is no recording to be done due to the confidentiality of the customers receiving benefits here.
Underneath.
I'll let you have the floor. I appreciate you letting me have the floor first. I very well appreciate that. I've spoken my piece.
Okay.
I-
So,
I'll allow you from here.
so mainly what they're saying, I mean, it's pretty simple, is you just cannot record where there's information
Right.
on clients of this facility. Now,
Is there anybody inside?
Now, if you're out here,
But they just said that I
That's
couldn't
me.
out here either, right? But is there anybody
Not in the
inside?
parking- Not customers' cars.
I wasn't recording anybody's cars. I'm recording anything that I can see from the public. Is there anybody inside right now?
Us,
He said customers.
I can't.
Which
tell you that.
they're not. Okay. You see where we're at? I listen. I promise you, I
Well, they
am
don't have
very,
to
very
tell you
well.
that.
They don't. No, they don't.
It's for
Right?
the customer's safety.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
we're protecting our customers.
I don't know where to go from here other than if I'm being threatened with arrest for either not shutting off this camera or for not leaving, I will leave. Short of that, I have the right to be here. I promise you, I do this all over the place. I know my rights. I'm here to record in public, and I'm here to file a Freedom of Information Act with this entity, this public entity.
Okay. And if that's what you choose, then by all means.
Mm-hmm.
But
And I have
it's
the right to
still-
document what
by
I'm doing.
It's still posted that you cannot record inside the building.
Can you read the statute that's posted with that, please? Because that has nothing to do with videography or photography at all. Criminal trespass to
currently
state-supported land. They have it posted on there,
Okay.
and yeah. I mean, I know precisely what I'm doing. I'm not gonna defy your order. If either one of you tell me that you will arrest me for not shutting off the camera while I'm here, I will leave. Anything short of that, I do not plan to leave.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just going to be honest. I have no reason to arrest you.
Because I'm not committing a crime,
So,
right?
However, we're getting to the point of there's still the disturbance part of this, of the video inside.
A disturbance.
Yes, you were asked to leave, and you were advised of the posted rules and of this facility, and you can't do what you were doing. So they, from my understanding, asked you to leave, and you didn't, and that's why we're here.
If I need to, I will play the video back for you. If my word is not enough, and if nobody here else is willing to be honest with you, I will stop this and play it back for you. But I promise you, the door was held open for me, and explicitly the gentleman said, and gentleman's a loose term because he come out here on a level 10 with me out of nowhere, okay?
Go ahead, play it back for him.
He opened the door for me, and as soon as they were done,
Hey,
Sir, we're taking one step at a time.
you see where I'm at? I'm really not trying to cause a problem. I am a freedom-loving American, okay? I'm here to exercise my rights, that's it. I'm not looking to fight with anybody. I'm not looking to commit any crimes. I'm not doing anything nefarious. I'm in public recording. That's a First Amendment protected activity. And I'm here to file a FOIA request. That is an Illinois statute that I am allowed to file that request, as I do with your department all the time, as I did with the post office, as I do in many other states. I do it all over the place.
Okay.
So generally, this is what I'm gathering from all of this. They don't want you recording here as a representative of the state. They're allowed to ask you to leave if you're recording. Okay, that's within their right as far as representative of the state. If you don't want to, if you're not recording, they're more than happy if you come in here, but they don't want you in here with the recording devices.
Okay.
And that's basically my understanding of what's going on here, and that's what you're talking about. The statute, and the statute is the trespass statute. And saying if a representative asks you to leave, you gotta leave.
Could we agree that this is open to the public right now, right? Until 5 p.m. as posted. This is open to the public.
It is.
As that
but,
gentleman.
but
Okay.
we also have a sign posted that restricts.
I'm just doing my due diligence. I have the illa.gov statute here, okay? And I'm gonna read it verbatim. And that is going to be under 720 ILCS 523-3, okay? For purposes of this item 1, and I'm going to read it to you immediately. Knowingly and without lawful authority enters or remains within a building, okay? For purposes of this item 1 of this subsection, this section shall not apply to being in a building which is open to the public while the building is open to the public during its normal hours of operation. Nor shall this section apply to a person who enters a building under the reasonable belief that the building is still open to the public. Now, we can agree that it's before 5 p.m. today, right?
Yeah.
It's open to the public. I'm not trespassing, sir.
But if they ask you to leave, then it can become trespassing.
It can't. Did you? Do you want to read it in case you don't believe what I'm reading? I read it verbatim. It does not apply to somebody who remains in a building during its normal hours of operation. It's open to the public and it's before 5 p.m. I have the right to be here,
So
sir.
you don't care if I read it real quick?
Yeah.
I prefer to read the statute than hear it. Because
Respectfully, would you mind pulling it up on your phone? I have the exact
go
code.
to my car.
Then right here, I will let you possess this right here. So, because I screenshotted
You
it.
can
Just
hold it if you want. That's fine. I just
now it's on the ILLIC.gov. I'm gonna hold this up so it's not shining.
okay.
720 ILCS 521-3 from chapter 38 paragraph 21-3. Okay, now in a minute you'll see that it says number 1, knowingly and without lawful authority enters or remains within or on a building. Now they're saying that I remained within the building, which I'm going to argue that anyway because they were engaging me, right? But even if I stayed in there to this second, moving forward, this is still directly under that, okay? For purposes of this item 1 of this subsection, this section shall not apply to being in a building which is open to the public while the building is open to the public during its normal hours of operation. Now we can cut it off there. You can continue reading. That doesn't have to do with us, right?
Section B here. When you receive notice, obviously I've read through the whole thing, but that was the first line.
I promise you I have read through this entire statute more than once. Okay, I'm very well versed on these rights. You can continue to read it if you want, but that does not disbar what that just said. Item 1 does not apply here. It is a public building, open to the public, in its normal hours of operation.
But
I'm not committing any crime.
You've received word that they wanted you to leave with the video camera.
Right.
And that's the notice.
But there's no notice because it explicitly states, for purposes of the item 1, remaining in the building.
You're not continuing past it. You're not reading the rest of the statute. That's what I'm trying to say here.
All right. If
the section B goes on talking about if you're given notice, and I didn't get to read the whole thing, but that was the first couple lines. So I'm assuming that's what they're talking about here. Is once you receive notice.
Right. But for purposes of the item 1, it shall not apply. That's cut and dry. It doesn't apply. It doesn't matter whether there was notice given or not. It doesn't apply.
Okay.
Now, listen, like I said, I'm really not here to fight with you. I'm
very
passionate about my rights, and my goal.
And I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
my goal.
I'm trying to figure out the best way to resolve this on, and I know that with all my experiences with everything, even if the building is open, when there's notice given saying, "Hey, you're not allowed to be anymore. You got to leave." At that point, you can be charged with trespassing. I'd have to read through the statute to give you the exact subsection, everything. I don't have everything of that memorized. There's way too many statutes to memorize every single thing.
And I only practice the ones that I know for 1,000% fact. I do this all over the place. Other than recording in public and filing FOIA requests today, my main goal with the camera is to disseminate public information. I want to educate people on our rights. I'm almost 30 years old. I've lived most of my life without knowing my rights, and I became passionate about it. And I believe that they're very useful in everyday life, and I believe that everybody should know them.
I appreciate the way that you come about this, because I've seen a lot of people who don't come about this.
I have too.
And that brings a whole different escalation to this. Not necessary.
I myself have handled it differently a couple times. Sometimes I wish I hadn't. Sometimes I stand on handling it differently, right? You guys have been very nice to me. I appreciate that. These guys have...
And that's something that we have no control of. People act. That's something that we can talk to their highest about the way they talk, whatnot. Like I said, as far as today goes, they don't want you in there with the camera. If you want to go fly a FOIA request without the camera, that's whatever. Or if they have a website, you can do it there. I don't know how it's set up through their FOIA system here. I'm sure it's similar to how we have it set at the police department, but not exact.
I'm 100% versed on the Illinois FOIA statute also. You can file them in person. I'm not breaking the law by doing this. I do this a lot of places. This is not my first time doing
They're
this,
just
so.
requesting that you not go through into their actual lobby with the video, and that's where it's come to. If you go in there with the video, they're asking you over.
All right. So, just out of curiosity, I'm asking you a favor here, right? Would you be willing to, for example, say that I stayed inside and you were moving forward with charging me? Would you go look at that and tell me what I would be charged with? If you have information that I don't,
right now and pull up the
yeah,
statute? I can do that.
if you wouldn't mind going through that and telling me precisely what I would be charged with if I didn't leave, I'd appreciate that.
Can I get your name and phone number, because I have to do an incident report?
Yeah. He's probably pulling it up on his computer.
Yeah, no, you're good. Now, you know, like I said, short of being threatened with arrest, I would like to not leave. That's my right to be here. I wholeheartedly believe that.
Yep. You need phone number?
Yes, please. Because I'm not sure if I will need anything from you guys or not. I don't know.
Yep. Would you like to step down here to the squad car?
So long as it's not raining, if I'm not being, now respectfully, if I'm not being told to leave this immediate area because I do have my camera open, the way I've got it set up, it's not waterproof.
Okay.
If I'm allowed to be tucked in here while it's sprinkling, I'd appreciate it. But now, like I said, respectfully, if I'm being made to move, I'm not going to tell you no. But with all due respect, if I'm just being asked the favor, I'm gonna politely decline right now.
Okay.
Just for I would love to stand out there if it wasn't raining.
Just offering.
I appreciate that. And if it wasn't raining, I promise you I would take you up on it.
Okay.
So long as it's sprinkling, I'd like to keep my camera rolling and keep the rain off of it right now.
Oh, sounds good. Just let him get it pulled up and
we would go with if we went through all that route.
Yes, sir.
The big difference to this one, and when you pull up, is one you put up as trespass to real property. This one is trespass to state-supported property. It goes into depth about remaining or being within the property after receiving notice, and it goes into details about what notice can be. This is the statute number if you'd like it. I didn't know if I'm going to write it down for you or not. But.
That's all part of the 720 ILCS.
Yeah.
I'm very well versed in that.
But that's hypothetically, if we went the whole that route, that's what it would end up being.
Right.
I'm happy we didn't have to deal with all that because, quite frankly, that's just a lot of paperwork for minor stuff. You know, we got enough bigger stuff in this town to worry about.
And I understand that I asked you hypothetically, and I hope that you guys understand. I'm not looking to catch anybody up. I'm not trying to play any semantical lingo bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. You have to understand for the verbiage. If I'm not being told to leave, if I'm not refusing an order, a lawful order, so I'm asking you for a lawful order to leave. I'm asking to be threatened with arrest under this statute if I don't leave.
Let me see.
Otherwise, there's no standing. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what I'm here for.
That's up to them. You know, if that's
Sure.
if they're saying that you're not allowed to be here and to go, then
Right.
so be it. Otherwise,
now
that's one of those statutes that we don't just go look for nothing. They would fill out a statement saying I asked
completely
you to
understand.
leave and
Yeah.
all that.
Now I've got one other favor to ask, because I know that you're a sergeant, and I'm not doubting your intellectual ability, but is there anybody higher that may have a better understanding of this that you would be able to talk to?
Not at this time of day.
Okay.
Everyone's, all the high-ups have already gone home.
Yeah. I want you guys to understand, I'm not here to be disrespectful. You know, in my perfect scenario, I would be willing to I would be able to exercise my rights and move on peacefully, as I've done a numerous amount of times, right? But if my rights are violated, I have to have standing. I have to be told absolutely to leave, or I will be threatened with arrest. You guys keep your body cams rolling the whole time, even like when he's in there talking to a complainant?
Yes.
Just curious. I have requested the policy manual for your guys' police department before, somewhat recently actually, and so I'm a little familiar with it. Not as familiar as I am with Illinois statutes.
Okay.
But so I understand why you guys are conferring together, you guys can mute and stuff like that. But I'm under the impression that it's policy to, while you're with a complainant or you know, so I'm just curious is all.
Yep, we've been recording the whole time.
Cool. Before we leave, would you mind if I get a CAD number from you? That way, whenever I request information from your guys' department, it just make it that much easier on me.
I'll ask my sergeant if he wants to give that information. Then
yeah, yeah, just the CAD number would be great, and then it'll just make it easier for the FOIA officer. I believe her name's Stacy, and everybody there, and myself included. Make it easier to get them public records to me.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, moving forward, I know where you guys stand. You know where I stand.
Yep.
So just out of curiosity, if I took off running right now, am I being detained? I'm not gonna take off running. I'm just curious.
I thought you were running. I have no reason to.
I ain't running, dude. I ain't that fat, but I ain't that conditioned. I'm not running anywhere. Especially if I wholeheartedly believe that I'm not committing a crime, which I tend not to do.
Oh, that's good.
talked to them and, you know, talked to them at length about everything they brought up. Essentially, if you go into the lobby recording, you've been notified that you can't go in there recording. They can end up filling out a statement against you if they choose to. I did explain to them that out here in the public, so much that they can do, and you know, that's within your rights. So I did talk to them about that because they were talking about the cars and the people coming and going, and unfortunately in today's day and age, there's not really anything against that. You know, if you're out
Some
about,
love it, some hate it.
If you're not at your home, you can be recorded.
You're not always in public if you're not at home. This happens to be a public area.
Yeah.
So just out of curiosity, are we defining this as a restricted area then, or is this a public area? In that lobby right there, is that a public area?
It is state-supported property, which means it is during public hours. It is open to the public, but it is treated more like a business, kind of like a Huck's or whatever. So even though the doors are open, they can still tell people that they
right. Well, respectfully, I can't go to Huck's and ask for a Freedom of Information Act from them. You see what I'm saying?
And I get that.
That's not a right to be in Huck's.
I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm the most well-versed in the FOIA Act, because we have someone that does all that, so I don't have to learn all that. And my understanding is you're still allowed to do that, they just
and outside
won't allow the recording in there.
And within the bounds of the law, something as arbitrary as a camera, right? If they now Huck's personally, if they tell me not to wear red shoes in there, and they tell me to get out because I walk in there wearing red shoes, they're within their rights, right?
Yes.
If I wear red shoes in here and they tell me I'm not allowed to wear red shoes, and then I don't leave because I'm wearing red shoes, it's not a crime to wear red shoes, right? But it's something as arbitrary as recording in public, right? They asked me to leave because I'm not going to wear blue shoes.
But they say it's all about the recording because they're trying to protect their individual rights. That's the orders they have from their high-ups.
Sure.
I don't have any say.
So now, have you guys not had a single in-service or briefing on First Amendment audits or anything like that?
Sure.
I mean, you know, like you're saying, today's day and age, you know, you understand. So, what about the parking lot? Are we considering that public?
I explained to them that there's not much we can do about parking lot. Because while the stuff that the license plates hold is restricted, the license plate itself is not. So, and I did talk to them about that. And
I appreciate that.
He said, so I'm not even going to mess with who wants to do that. I said, because there's not much you can do.
Yeah.
And even though, you know, that's something they may have to change in their policies, because I don't know when their last policy of the recording in the parking lot was updated.
Right.
But that's something that the way it is.
Policy can't supersede the Constitution, though.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Though. This would be 20 years ago before video camera was a big thing.
But we're acting under the impression that this policy here supersedes my constitutional right to record.
No, I was just talking about that. As far as inside here, that is considered state-supported property. So if the representative wants to tell someone to leave for recording, they can do that. And my suggestion is to talk to their higher about getting that changed here, if that's against the laws of the law. Like I said, I can't sit here and say 100% with it, because I don't memorize all these different laws, every ins and outs of it, especially if I don't deal with it.
Don't blame you. I've tried. It's hard.
Yeah. But my understanding with everything is that they're allowed to post this at this point, and they're allowed to request legal leave if they're recording.
So, and you know, you guys have been so nice that I really hate to put it this way, because you're saying that you're not going to arrest me if I'm in the parking lot, right? We agree to that, right? But if I go inside, I will be arrested.
If you go in there recording, and they decide to fill out a statement.
And like I said, man, I appreciate how nice you guys are being, but I feel the need to inform you this will come down on you guys personally as law enforcement officers. This is my right to do this. And if you guys are enforcing their policy, you swore an oath to uphold the Constitution. There's a constitutional right to record in public.
What I can tell you is that once we're all done here, I'll actually call one of my lieutenants on his off time and confer with him and talk to him and find out more. That way, if I need to be educated more, I can do so.
Yeah.
But I'm also not going to do that while we're on the scene.
Right. Respectfully, the damage is done, though, because once I'm threatened with arrest for entering a public lobby, the damage is done, you know. And I hate to put it that way to you guys, because you guys have been very nice today. Unfortunately, it's still a violation of my rights.
Okay. And if so, then I apologize. But at this point,
I'm sorry, I can't do it.
In my experience, I don't believe it is. And I am human.
I'm not here to impose my will on you. Like I said, if I'm being told to leave, I will. If I'm being told that I can't go in there, I'm not going to go in there. If you're not telling me to leave the parking lot, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be in the parking lot for a few minutes. I'm here to exercise my rights.
I'm not telling you to leave the parking lot at all.
I appreciate that. You know, it's still, I wholeheartedly, I believe that you're gonna call somebody and become educated on that. And I'm not meaning that in a derogatory way, because I've lived most of my life uneducated in this aspect. And moving forward, I will be in touch with the department about this, you know, because instances like this, you know, when I'm here to exercise my rights and I feel my rights have been violated, I'm not going to just move on with my life, you know, because
I understand.
they have a duty as public employees. You know, I'm here to file a FOIA request.
I want the entire department educated on my bad decision if I made one. But that's the decision for now. And then I'm going to talk to them, and if we need to be educated, then I'll talk to them, and we'll get something going, and we can follow up, and we can go that route.
Sure.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Well, is there anything more we can do for you?
No, I believe all the bases are covered. I appreciate you guys being nice. I hate that it's going to end up being that way. It is the way it is. But I appreciate you guys not arresting me, but I'm telling you, listen, you guys are going to see the video. I'll send it to the department. I'm going to upload it online too. These guys were level 10 from the minute that I come right here. I appreciate you not being level 10.
I'm not doubting that, because we deal with that all the time. But again, just being level 10 is not enough for us to do.
No, I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm just wanting you to understand the position that they put me in whenever I'm out here peacefully exercising my rights, and he come out here, you know, leaning forward at me and veins popping out and stuff. It just, I try not to get that with other people. My mouth gets dry, man. I got anxiety. I hate all this stuff, you know what I mean? But
Hey, thanks, guys. I'm gonna lock this door up.
Sounds good.
Have a good one, guys.
But you know, to escalate the way they did, I appreciate you guys not escalating. Like I said, I hate that it's got to be this way. Moving forward, I'm looking forward to everybody being educated. The general public from my video, you guys from this interaction, myself anywhere that I may ever be wrong in life. That's all I'm looking for. So I'll quit tying up your guys' time. Actually, after a CAD number, if you guys wouldn't mind, if he said that he would have to run that by you.
Sure. What's the case number for this?
25-6880. 25-6880.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
No problem.
Just making a memo real quick.
No problem.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, you guys have a good one. Like I said, I'm going to stick around in the parking lots. I will not go back inside. Well, they locked the door anyway. It's after 5 o'clock.
Yeah, that's correct.
From 4 to 5, though, it's been an infringement on my rights. You guys have a good day, all right? Man, this is crazy. Absolutely insane. Man, I can't believe this. Man, you guys are about to see this whole thing when I post this too. This is crazy. Man, that's absolutely insane. Look at these guys, shameless. Absolutely shameless. Y'all gotta, if you want the privacy, you gotta create it respectfully. It's absolutely insane. Wow. That's crazy. You know what? I'm gonna get this on 2 cameras. Wow. 18 minutes left, huh? Look at that, I'm gonna zoom in too. Wow. Shameful. Absolutely shameful. It's just crazy. Wow. Well, I mean, you guys see it. Wow. I'm astonished. I'm absolutely astonished. That's sad, man. That's absolutely sad. They got cameras all over the place, and you bet your ass I'm gonna FOIA request them too. That is just sad. Egregious.